Hello, everybody. Uh, Today, the idea here is to talk about patterns, and I'm gonna talk about very strange mathematical concept and try to prove to you that 1 equals 4 when we're dealing with patterns. So, hmm, first, hope you if you this is just in case you like practicing patterns and you believe that that's gonna help improve your playing. I know some people don't like talking about patterns. I do, therefore I will. Um, I think it helps get your technique together. Help you get your fingers acquainted with the ideas, the musical ideas that you hear in your ears and in your heart, translated into your fingers. I'm talking a lot, not saying anything. The idea is to talk about that, as I said, 1 equal 4. What do I mean? I mean, if you have one pattern and if you get to the DNA of that pattern, for example, one very simple way to approach patterns is just to try intervals. For example, let's do the good old C major scale and let's play intervals, meaning starting with thirds. So we play the first note and then third, second note, a third up, third note. Forget about the name, that's just the sound. So this is the cool thing about patterns, is that you start playing, you can guess what's the next sound, right? Because it's very predictable. If you start playing the pattern, your brain should already automatically okay, and once you start, there's a pattern. There is a logic to it, and once you're here, what's the logic? I'm on the C major scale and I'm playing thirds, and that's a sound. Now, how does that? So, in order to make this thing here become 4 things, what do we do? There is the pattern that you're thinking about. There's the inversion, there's the retrograde, and the retrograde inversion. So what do I mean by that? So I may mix up the concept of what's the retrograde and what's the inversion, but what matters here is the sound. So this is the pattern, right? You already heard it. You can hear the train in the background. So I believe that this would be the inversion. If instead of going one note and then the third up, if you start on the third and then go back to the first, it makes sense to my mind right now that this is the inversion. And then, here's the thing, we did it ascending, right? We did thirds, ascending. See, in the end of the day, in the end of the pattern, you started in the low register, you ended in the high register. But you can do the opposite. You can and you should do the opposite as well. Start in the high register and get down. So this is a third version of the initial pattern that we did in thirds. What am I doing? I'm playing one note and then the third down, and then the reverse, first note, second. So it sounds like this. So I think this is the retrograde, and then we gotta find the retrograde inversion, which would be cool. So if you're a guitar player and if you're really into the topic, you're probably still watching. If not, I will I will do a demonstration of this, applying to a song, applying to a blues, and so you can still keep watching even if you're not really playing guitar. But if you are, I hope that helps already. So I'm trying to say that for each pattern that you have, once you understand, if you're able to explain the pattern with words, for example, here I'm just playing thirds, right? So by playing this pattern, you should be able to play to play three other patterns. This one and three that from this guy here. It's just do one octave to keep it simple. So now the inversion. Now the retrograde. Retrograde inversion. Cool. They all have the same structure, so it's easy for us to play one pattern and get lazy and be happy that, oh, I play this one and celebrate, drink a glass of champagne. But we shouldn't. We should just keep, what else can you do with it? Yeah, so I did the interval of thirds, right? Now let's do the other intervals. Interval of fourths. The first note and the fourth note on the scale. That's how it sounds. Now the inversion. Now the retrograde. Fourths. G. That was the inversion of the fourths. Now the retrograde fourths. There you go. Retrograde inversion. Now, very obviously, you know what to do. If you did thirds and fourths, the next thing to do is fifths. Then the inversion. Whoa. Retrograde, fifths. Retrograde inversion. And then I just did fifths, now sixths. That's Thelonious Monk composition, Misterioso. It's a blues that has this thing based on the interval of 6. I'm just gonna do the interval still in the C major scale. Some weird fingers sometimes, but inversion. The inversion is the same thing. See the fingering. Nothing's gonna change. Just the same fingering, but with a slight variation. 6, right? Yeah. Then the retrograde 6 retrograde. Retrograde inversion. 6 now 7s. Ooh, 7. Oh. usually do. I go all the way up and then I go down. So I just to me feels very natural to do this. Like, and I already do the retrograde. You know, so I already did it, but we have to do the inversion as well. Now I'm already doing the. You got it. Just 4 things. 4 different sets of sounds that you can apply. That you can just get your fingers moving. You know, like get you. I don't know. It's something that I like doing, practicing patterns, and. I think now it's probably a good time to demonstrate, right? How can you apply that? Like the sound of each. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna play along with a thing here with just the first thing that showed up. I said I wanted to hear the Abers, so play along because they sound good. But unfortunately, I don't think they're available on YouTube. So I'm just gonna play with the first. It's like a learn jazz standards thing. The sound is pretty bad. What I recommend, and I was planning in my mind, I was planning on doing it, is to record on your phone. I have a recorder, you know, like an app, whatever, voice memo recorder. I think it's the most effective way to play along with something when you're working on a concept. If you want to apply that thing on the blues in F, then you just play the blues, just play the chords for yourself for whatever, 5 minutes, you know, and then you practice the concept with your play along. Because if the play along is horrible, that's your fault. That means that you need to work on your comping as well. However, I'm using the phone as a camera, so that's not gonna work. I'm just gonna play along with the YouTube thing, and yeah, and then finish this. And I'm just gonna shout out like an interval and improvise using that interval for maybe for each chorus. I can change the interval. Let's see if my brain can keep up with that. So here we go, blues in F. I'm gonna start with thirds, of course. Fourths. Fifths. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. What did we talk about? Intervals, thirds. Usually those videos are very unorganized. Today I thought it was gonna be organized. I don't think it was, but I don't really care that much. I think it was probably helpful for some people. Feel free to send me suggestions. This is probably gonna be on YouTube or on Patreon or I don't know where. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.